the quiet and picturesque city of Riverside, a great conflict has been brewing for years. The Riverside Federation, under the leadership of Commander Sidious, has ruled the city with an iron fist, imposing strict laws and regulations on its citizens. His environmental policies had come at a great cost to the people, and his constant threats of violence had instilled fears in the heart of many. But despite his efforts to maintain control, a group of rebels has risen up against him, known as the Riverside Rebellion Forces. A great war broke out in the streets of Riverside, with violent clashes and heated battles taking place throughout the city. Finally, after years of struggle, the Riverside Rebellion Forces emerged victorious, and Commander Sidious was overthrown. Control of the city was handed over to the Riverside City Council, and a new era began for Riverside. Even in the aftermath of the war, tensions still remain high. Trust was in short supply, and suspicions lingered in the hearts of many. And it was against this backdrop that a terrible crime was committed in the Riverside Botanical Gardens. A murder that would shake the city to its core and threaten to unravel the fragile peace that had been so hard won. Welcome to Fall of the Federation, a murder in the Riverside Botanical Gardens. You and your fellow players will assume various character roles in this murder mystery party game. This game is set in the aftermath of the overthrow of the tyrannical ruler of Riverside, Commander Sidious, and the game will begin with the players gathering at the Botanical Gardens for an after-party celebration from the success of the Riverside Charity Gala. However, things take a dark turn when Commander Sidious is found murdered in the gardens. As the Riverside City Council takes over, the supporters of the Federation, with the killer of Commander Sidious, to be brought to justice and allow for a peaceful transition of the government. It quickly becomes clear that one of the guests is the killer, and it's up to the players to figure out who it is. As the game progresses, tensions will rise, and the players get close to identifying who the killer is. Will the killer be brought to justice, or will they manage to escape the city before they get caught? Only time will tell. In Fall of the Federation, a murder in the Riverside Botanical Gardens.
I'm Mayor Samantha Collins. I'm recently elected.
Hey.
I'm much loved by all the populace here. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Thank you for giving me your vote recently. At your service always.
My name is Katie.
Hello.
And I will be Ivan Petrov. I am a retired Federation Army veteran. These days, I like to keep Riverside City safe. I am loyal to the Federation, and I do whatever it takes. I am ruling with a stern fist, but I have a big heart, and I care a lot about our people.
My name's Borf in game, and
Hi,
I'm Leslie Patel. Leslie Patel, I'm an avid botanist. I work in the garden here, and I had a real strong attachment to Commander. His death hurt me.
What's up, beautifuls? I'm Redacted. I'm also known as Amelia Stone, as you can tell. I'm obviously a police captain. I mean, just look at me. Yeah, you know, I used to be a Federation officer and stuff, but, you know, now I just arrest people and take their secure their money, and I'm very loyal.
I'm Mass. I'm playing Detective Jameson Price this game, so, yeah. That's what I am. That's what I do.
I'm Spastical. I am also Ambassador Antonio Alvarez. I'm a representative from a neighboring country, and I'm trying to work out diplomatic ties with Riverside. I consider myself charismatic, and I'm good at navigating political situations, friendly and outgoing, so I'm hoping that Riverside and I can have a good relationship going forward.
I'm Tybo. I'll be playing Professor Maxwell Phillips. I'm a well-respected political science professor that has studied the Federation exclusively, and I'm not afraid to share my opinions about it.
Hi everyone, I'm Jesse James. I'm playing Colonel Olivia Lee. I'm a high-ranking officer in the Riverside Army. I'm working hard to ensure that the Federation loyalists don't cause trouble in the city, because the safety of the city is my #1 priority.
Mayor Samantha Collins, at the time of the murder, Mayor Collins was attending a charity gala at the Riverside City Hall across town. She was seen by multiple witnesses, and she had a solid alibi.
I did need to leave slightly early. because things were just getting a bit too much for me there. Look, since the election, I've had a lot on my hands.
Does she have any loot on her?
Isn't that great, as you can see by the gunshots in the background. So I had to go for a walk, but I went down to the river, and there I saw my friend,
Too many witnesses. There's too many witnesses here.
Just one moment. Yes, I saw the professor by the river, and it felt to me like perhaps the professor was also needing a bit of a break from all the people. Had been at the park,
Hey
but then
Charlie,
also
how you doing, buddy?
was by the river.
Doing good, man. How you been?
Nice.
But as you can see, I'm being very transparent. So there is, I have
kind of
my only motive was to catch some breath, and you can all attest to the situation. Look at the people up there on the roof with their guns dipping in them.
Well, hello. So, I have been very busy at the military base. I was seen by many of my fellow co-workers. And right before I left for work that day, I actually kissed my loving girlfriend, Olivia, goodbye for work, and she watched me drive off to the military base.
On some things, Commander and I didn't see eye to eye, but on the night of the murder, I was up in Freeman Tower at a party. I had no time, and many people saw me there the whole night. Couldn't have been me.
Wait, it was a different party than the gala?
I think so. In Freeman Tower. A private party, but...
This is the garden, right? This is the garden?
Yes,
And the party you said was at the top of the tower, right? Right there?
Yep.
I'm pretty sure it's got a pretty good vantage point from the garden, from up at the party. If you could, you know, sneak away to get to the roof.
As you know, I'm an avid protector of the environment, and I'm a pacifist as well. I wouldn't dare kill anything, and you know, just
with a name like
shooting guns,
Leslie,
the
I don't
grass
think
on the
so.
floor, the trash that would be created by the casing and the gunpowder burns, the carbon emissions from that combustion. I would never do that.
And so when it happened, you know, I mean, I was seen by other people. I mean, the mayor was there. You know, there were plenty of other people.
She
and
was.
it's confirmed.
Were you in uniform? Were you in casual clothes? Were you?
Well, usually I charge someone to ask me that kind of question, but no, I was in formal uniform. You know, being a head of the police department, you kind of, you know, you gotta make a representation for yourself.
If it wasn't you and somebody was there, they would have seen you in uniform, and they might have, you know, second thought at seeing, you know, an officer, especially a captain, right? I mean, if I went to a party and a captain was there, I wouldn't do anything, right?
Whoa, so you're... I mean, that's implying that this person was invited to the party. Who said they were invited?
So, I don't know about no gala, I wasn't invited, but what I was doing at the time of the murder was I was at the police station. I didn't leave the building, and all of my fellow officers could confirm my whereabouts at the time of the murder.
Yeah, I saw him there. He gave me a hug.
Other question?
It appears that Cass can confirm his presence at the police station.
Is it well documented?
If you were a
have to
real
like
detective,
clock
you
in
would
or
have
clock
asked the
out?
mayor what she was doing by the river.
It is. He was caught at shift change. They were at shift change together, so that their attendance was documented. What did someone say about the mayor again?
I just said if they were a real detective, they would have asked the mayor what she was doing by the river that night.
I think you did.
I am Antonio Alvarez. Pleased to meet your acquaintance. I was at a dinner party at the Federation Embassy during the time of Commander Sidious's murder, so it could not have been me. I was witnessed by multiple people, high-standing citizens of the society, so I should not be coming under any scrutiny for this crime. No one in attendance here was at the party, for it was exclusive, but Dr. Petri Petri Dish was there, even though he's not here at this meeting. I was at the Federation Embassy for a dinner party, yes, and it was a private occurrence. You certainly weren't invited.
So you're at the...
Well, if no one can attest to you going to a private party, how could this private party happen?
And if it was at the embassy, wouldn't Commander Sidious have been there? Why was he at the gala and not at the The ambassador dinner.
Sidious in the garden.
Sidious is an important man with many duties to attend to.
Interesting.
Is there any audience
spare time to go
members
to a
that
dinner
were
party.
at the embassy tonight that can attest to his presence there?
I was there. I did see him. Oh, somebody else saw him?
I dropped him off.
Well, I saw him too at dinner, but when dessert came around, I know that he loves dessert. And I was really wanting to ask him about it, and I couldn't find him anywhere.
You know what? You know what? This is true. I was absent during dessert, but I suffer from, and I didn't mean to make this information public, irritable bowel syndrome. So after eating the main course, I was not feeling so well, and I had to excuse myself.
On the night of the murder, I was at the gala. I remember seeing the mayor and the captain there. A lot of other people saw me. I posed for pictures. I'm in a bunch of pictures. Yeah.
I did see the professor there. Although the professor did make quite a bit of a scene.
I started my shift at the the central security station. I didn't leave my post, and my fellow officers can attest that I was there.
A concerned citizen of Riverside as I am, I saw Colonel Lee earlier today with the man at the Riverside Park. She seemed very upset, and I'd heard her say, there isn't any other way.
And I was just having like a really, really hard time. And I just needed a moment.
What do you mean a moment?
A moment to kill
moment
someone?
to clear my head. No.
A moment to murder.
I was emotional. I was distraught. And I just needed to vent.
Sounds made up.
Yeah, Among Us.
Does anyone have any other questions?
Drop your stuff. No.
You were
Pass it
acting
back.
so happy.
Pass it back.
What a mood swing. Such an emotional moment.
What does he mean?
It happens. You get in a fight with your best friend and your lover, and then you cry about it, and then you're good again.
What?
That's what love is.
Oh, all right.
I'm sorry that you can't.
So you're in charge of the central security, right?
I am.
So you checked in people with the private party, right?
That's a little below my pay grade.
Well,
I'm a high-ranking
you're not the desk
official.
person.
Let me just give you a really quick overview of what each of these possible criminals would benefit from the death of Commander Sidious. So we'll start with Colonel Olivia Lee, seen earlier today fighting with someone in the park or having a heated discussion. Colonel Lee was a high-ranking officer in the Federation military, but she was known to be sympathetic to the Riverside Rebellion forces. She may have seen Commander Sidious's death as an opportunity to further the goals of the rebellion and advance her own position within the new government. We have Professor Maxwell Phillips, which is an academic. Professor Phillips may have seen Commander Sidious as a threat to academic freedom and pursuit of knowledge, and he may have seen his death as an opportunity to advance the cause of the scientific research and academic inquiry. Sorry, guys. Ambassador Antonio Alvarez. As an ambassador, Alvarez may have had political reasons for wanting to see Commander Sidious dead. Perhaps his home country had a vested interest in the outcome of Federation politics, and Commander Sidious was standing in the way of those interests. Detective Price, a member of the Federation police force, he had a reputation of bending the rules to get results, and may have seen Commander Sidious as an obstacle to his own personal style of law enforcement. Captain Amelia Stone was a member of the Riverside Federation police force, but she was often at odds with Commander Sidious over law enforcement policy. She may have seen his death as an opportunity to implicate her own policies. Dr. Leslie Patel, a high-level botanist and environmentalist, Dr. Patel may have opposed Commander Sidious's policy regarding the environment and the use of natural resources. She may have seen his death as a way to advance her own environmental agenda. Colonel Ivan Petrov was a high-ranking officer in the Federation military, but he was often at odds with Commander Sidious as well over military strategy. The colonel may have seen his death as a way to advance his own agenda. We have Mayor Samantha Collins. Commander Sidious was a tyrant who frequently overruled the decisions of the Riverside City Council, including Mayor Collins. The mayor may have seen his death as an opportunity to regain more power over the city. So now that we know a little bit about where our characters were, what they have to benefit from Commander Sidious's death, now we will introduce our first piece of evidence and we will talk about it. So evidence round 1, a witness comes forward claiming to have overheard a conversation between Colonel Petrov and a member of the rebellion forces. They stated that they saw something suspicious yesterday that they think they should share. They saw Colonel Ivan Petrov meeting with someone from the rebellion, and it sounded serious. He heard the man tell Colonel Petrov that something is coming, and he needed to make sure he is on the right side of history. Colonel Petrov, do you have anything to say about this?
Listen. I am very sympathetic, alright, with everybody and their views on everything. And I was just having a heart-to-heart with him. Listen, I'm on the side of the Federation, but I understand that the Federation had to go.
So we'll move to the second piece of evidence. A list of meetings that Commander Sidious had been having over the last week was found in Samantha Collins' office, Mayor Samantha Collins' office. With that said, it appears that he had multiple meetings with Ambassador Antonio Alvarez prior to the week of his death. He had 2 meetings with Professor Maxwell Phillips the week of his death. He had a meeting with Venidus, something about a tiny horse. He also had a meeting with Dr. Leslie Patel as well, and Captain Amelia Stone. Notably, the last 2 meetings that he did have was on Friday at 7 p.m. with Dr. Leslie Patel, and Saturday, the day of the murder, at 10 a.m. with Professor Maxwell Phillips. So it appears that Friday at 7 p.m., Dr. Leslie Patel met with Commander Sidious. Do we have any indication on what that meeting was about, Dr. Leslie Patel?
I was just trying to plead with Sidious about the agenda, about switching over to generators instead of using crude oil to power Riverside. Very concerned about the environment as this Hail Mary of sorts,
And then, of course, Professor Maxwell, what did you 2 talk about Saturday at 10 a.m.?
That's a good question. Right. I think it was just a casual meeting between 2 friends.
Okay.
About policies and politics.
Ambassador Alvarez, what were you doing meeting with Commander Sidious 3 times in 1 week?
It should come as no surprise that I've been trying to work out some form of trade alliance between our 2 peoples, and it requires much hashing. Commander Sidious, though, was, in his late life, coming around to the idea, so it was a pretty amicable set of meetings. We were quickly arriving at an agreement, I believe, before his untimely end.
So our next round of evidence is a letter that was found from Commander Sidious in response to Dr. Leslie Patel's proposed changes to the Federation's current environmental policies to limit the Federation's use of crude oil. And the letter reads, it was dated on 2/25, so just 1 day ago, the day of their meeting. I appreciate your passion for preserving our planet, Dr. Patel, but I'm afraid I must respectfully decline your recommendation to discontinue the use of crude oil. While I share your concerns, we must prioritize the financial strength of the Federation in order to continue our efforts in protecting the environment. I trust you understand that we cannot simply abandon a profitable industry for the sake of an unproven one. Thank you for your input. So it does appear that Dr. Patel's proposal to change the environment was denied the day of their meeting. So our next piece of evidence, a search of Captain Stone's desk reveals a letter which she expresses her frustrations with Commander Sidious's policies and discusses the possibility of taking matters into her own hand. The Federation is failing and losing its grasp on control and order in Riverside. I did not spend all these years of my life fighting for the party, and it just to give up like this. I feel like it has to do with all these new foreign policies we have adopted through the years. Ambassador Alvarez seems to be such a supporter of the Federation, but something doesn't feel right as of late. Something needs to be done about this. Maybe it's time I step up and make some changes around here. Just so everyone knows, Detective Jameson Price is effectively being demoted as of the 1st of next month and had a confidential copy of this notice that he wasn't supposed to have in his desk at the time. With that said, there was also a letter found in Ambassador Alvarez's office from his government indicating that he was at the end of his terms if he could not figure out a solution to their current financial issues by securing trade deals with the Riverside Federation. We also had from Professor Phillips a meeting with a very wealthy benefactor that promised to provide plenty of financial support if he was to give any inside information on the Federation. The reason he wanted the information was uncertain, but the money he was offering was too good to pass up. Colonel Lee had a note found in her desk where she had wrote a memorandum to herself, where a letter was given to her from an unidentified source saying that her support of the rebellion was welcome with open arms and that their contributions would not go unforgotten. Now, with that said, her support is to help the people of Riverside, and it will free her as well. A new day coming to Riverside, a new day of freedom without the oppressive regime looming over the great city. Change is coming, he says to Olivia. I have to save her. A stack of wire transfer ledgers. Most are missing, but you can see 2 of them. It appears the embassy of Ambassador Alvarez's country was trying to destroy them. Wire transfer 4 was January 8th for $1.2 million from Antonio Alvarez to receiver RRF. The 5th wire transfer was February 24th for $2.5 million from Antonio Alvarez to RRF. Now it appears that they found a bunch of money that you were sending to someone named RRF. Can you tell us who that is?
So, you've caught me with my hand in the cookie jar. RRF. RRF stands for the Riverside Rebels Foundation. I know how this looks. I understand your concerns. I do. But I assure you that this was purely financial. We never had anything sinister in store for Commander Sidious. We had met multiple times. We were discussing a way forward, and it turned out that the best way for me to financially stabilize our country was to fund the Federation rebels to fight against Commander Sidious, to inject more cash into our coffers. Now, it may be shady, but I never wished Commander Sidious any ill will. That is the truth.
Where did you get this much money? It's a lot of money.
I'm an ambassador for my country.
Well, so it does say that there is a sender bank and a receiving bank on the information. The sender bank is Banco Federal de España, and then the receiving bank is the Bank of Riverside. Entry from Professor Maxwell Phillips' journal. My research may have hit a snag, but I will not stop until the truth is exposed. The Federation may think they can silence me, but they don't know who they're dealing with. I have powerful allies, and I will use every resource at my disposal to bring them down. I must be careful, though, as my activities have already raised suspicion. I need to find a way to keep investigating without alerting their suspicions. I will not rest until justice is served.
What are you researching, we want to know? What is it that hit a snag? Tell us the truth.
Well, honestly, that was just a personal entry into my diary. I was just, I was having a bad day. Everybody has them.
Just go right at the north frontier.
Honestly, it's just working to help better the Federation. I just do research and writings and.
Didn't go to Mayor Collins. Mayor Collins, what's up with those cell phone messages you got there about a deal when you become mayor?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, in the life of a politician it is often important to play many roles, to meet many people, and this includes supporting, just like I support everyone here. So what these messages were about were just it was a small business owner that was donating campaign material for me in exchange for the promise to look after small businesses like his. They've been under threat. The oil business, even the generator business has been a problem. So I was making him a solemn promise, something I really truly believed in, to look after his small businesses. There is one small thing that I've failed to mention earlier. I have been making it my business to also collect information on the commander, because I'm keeping tabs and making sure that he's not influencing high-level officials back into the Federation's arms, something we have truly left behind. I just wanted to add this at this point for transparency's sake. So thank you for indulging me with your attention. Yes, please.
The package has been delivered. What exactly did you mean?
Oh, this is simply leaflets and things like that. So, yeah, campaign materials, basically. Leaflets, flags, banners, just the usual. Nothing at all out of the ordinary.
Quit pushing me.
We must demand accountability and transparency from our leaders, and we must hold them to a higher standard. I call on each and every one of you to join me in this fight. Let us not be silenced by fear, but rather emboldened by the knowledge that we are fighting for what is right. Together, we can make a difference and create a brighter future for Riverside. Samantha Collins, candidate for Riverside Mayor. Samantha Collins, tell us about that a little bit. Were you calling for people to take up arms and start the revolution?
No, I was not calling for people to fight in the streets with guns. I was asking them to stand up and vote. I'm not the leader of the rebellion. I'm the leader at the polls. That's what I do.
A letter from Commander Sidious to Ambassador Alvarez. Ambassador Alvarez, your actions have shown a clear disregard for the authority of the Riverside Federation and for me as its leader. Your secret negotiations with other countries to secure trade agreements that would benefit your own interests and those of the Riverside Rebellion forces are nothing short of acts of war. Such blatant disrespect towards my rule will not be tolerated, and you will immediately cease all foreign aid of the rebellion. Know that I have the power to declare war on your country, and I will not hesitate to do so if you continue on this path of betrayal. I demand you to reconsider your actions and come to the negotiation table with a more respectful and compliant attitude. Satisfying my demand will ensure the survival of not only yourself, but your entire country. Please remember that failure to do so will have severe consequences. Do not fail me, Commander Sidious.
I have already admitted to funding the rebels. That is something that I did. I own that. What I did not do was kill Commander Sidious. I have an alibi for the night of the murder. It was not me. I have many respected officials that can swear me to innocence. It was not me.
I'm still really concerned about the fact that I didn't see you at dessert. You have told me so many times how much you love strawberry shortcake.
I love it. It's true. I have irritable bowel syndrome. I had to excuse myself from dessert. It was a shame to miss it. But I was still at the dinner party during the events that transpired here with Commander Sidious.
Can you provide a doctor's certificate? Or pull down your pants.
Dr. Dubby diagnosed me. I don't know if he's around, but he knows of my condition. I have a prescription for edibles for it.
You have found a newspaper article in the office of Professor Maxwell Phillips. It is from the Riverside News Agency from January of 2023. Karen Phillips, wife of esteemed professor, arrested for spreading misinformation. In a shocking turn of events, Karen Phillips, wife of esteemed political science professor Maxwell Phillips, has been arrested and detained for spreading gross and flagrant misinformation about the Riverside Federation. The details of the misinformation have not been released, but sources also close to the investigation claim that her actions could have dire consequences for the Federation. The Federation's leader, who declined to comment on the specifics of the case, released a statement condemning Ms. Phillips. Commander Sidious said, "Those who seek to undermine our mission will be handled swiftly with the full force of the law, and we take malicious acts against the Federation very seriously. This is a warning that treason will not be tolerated." Ms. Phillips is currently being held in an undisclosed location, and it is unclear what charges she will face. Professor Phillips, who declined to comment on the situation, has been a respected member of the community for many years and is known for his passionate advocacy for civil rights and social justice. The arrest of Ms. Phillips sent shockwaves through the community, with many calling for more transparency from the Federation in regards to their handling of the case. Some have even suggested that her arrest may be part of a larger crackdown on dissent within the Federation, though these claims have not been sustained.
I'd like to start off by saying, of course, I have the article in my desk. It is A, my desk, and B, an article about that I was a part of. And obviously, my wife, she did go a little crazy. But I am an outstanding citizen of the community. I have a close relationship with Commander. I don't blame him at all for it. Yeah, obviously this happened January of this year. It is now February 27th, so it's been 2 months ago. If I were to plan something and do something, I think I wouldn't wait 2 months. I would have probably done something right away. And yeah, like I said, I have no ill will towards Commander. We actually had a meeting about how we can better the community.
But Professor Maxwell, wouldn't you say that
I'm so sorry.
it hurts you that your wife is being detained in an undisclosed location and you don't even know the charges yet?
It does. But like I said,
And
she
wouldn't
kind
that
of
hurt
went off the
not
deep
knowing
end.
where your lover is? Wouldn't that just drive somebody to do something insane? Like kill somebody to imprison their wife?
I know a lot more information than what the article says. Like I said, Commander and I have kept a close relation to it. It's just, yeah.
Now let's see what Tybo wrote here. Tybo said, "I killed him. He did."
Oh no!
Oh my god!